Hello and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader Jay. This is going to be a birthday message for the sign of Libra. What is going on, Libra? How are you guys doing? I hope that you're doing well. Alright friends, as the video thumbnail says, happy birthday. Libra, wherever you are in this world right now, I hope you are happy, safe, secure, and healthy. I am wishing you guys a very, very happy birthday. If you're able to celebrate, please do so safely, and if you're able to enjoy your day, enjoy your festivities, make sure, well, I'm hoping that you're surrounded by people who absolutely love you and share a wonderful bond with you, okay? If you're able to enjoy yourself, if you're having a couple of drinks, if you're having a couple slices of cakes, yeah, multiple cakes, sure. But if you're enjoying yourself, please, cut a slice for me. Anyway, guys, welcome to your birthday reading. Welcome to 2020, right? What a gauntlet it has been. What a very savage year it has been. Are people still saying savage? Probably not. Anyway, let's get on with it. Libra, I've reconstructed the birthday readings. I only do them, once a year for each individual sign, so this is different than the previous ones I've done for the past, 2 years or 1 year, however long I've been doing it. So what you see before you see 5 different cards, right? Each card is going to represent a different area of your life. We're going to explore it through the Kipper decks, or we're going to use the Kipper deck as like the basis or the focal point of these different areas. And then we're going to clarify with some tarot. That's what you're going to see here. It's sort of kind of like 4 little mini readings, or again, they're pertaining to specific areas of your life. Everything that you want is already in the description box. So if you want the timestamp, it is down there. Go ahead and click that to where the reading actually begins. You can look down there and also find the information you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. If you want to get something specifically for yourself, maybe a little birthday present for yourself, feel free to look me up down there. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, the link for that is also down in the description box. If you have questions before you place an order for any personals, always feel free to email me and I will answer you as soon as I can. And anyone who's interested in doing donations to the channel, you can use the I can't even talk today, PayPal app or the Cash app link down below as well, okay? It is your birthday season, so what you have to look forward to me, this is the final part before we begin. You've got this birthday reading here. You already have your, you have your mid-September, so that kind of starts your birthday season. You're going to have an October, a mid-October, and then you're also going to get a live with me, and I always neglect to look up the date, so let me go ahead and confirm it, because it's usually the second Saturday in the month that I go live for the specific signs. So in October, you guys can expect to see me on October 10th at 7 p.m. So that's when I read for each specific sign live on the channel. So if you have a question and you want to ask me, feel free to wait around until October 10th, okay? All right, Libra, let's get into it. Enough of the chit chat, let's move on. So each of these, like I said, is different areas of your life. So here we have the mental body, physical body, or your health and your wellness, right? And then we have your spiritual health or your spiritual body. Then down here we have your life purpose, or what is the central focus or central issue regarding your life purpose down here. And then over here we're going to talk about soul or soul connections. They don't have to be soul mates, but just soul connections, okay? And they don't have to be romantic, but we'll get to it when we get there, okay? So the first one that we're starting with is up here in the top left corner. So regarding your mental body at this time, what is going on in your mental space? What is the central focus of your consciousness or possibly your subconsciousness? Gift. Card number 17. Gift. So, kind of fits the moment. Some of you are focused on physical, material possessions. It is your birthday season. You might be expecting gifts. You may, very much like this, wrapped up in some shiny, very illustrious package with a beautiful ribbon on it. And it's, I'm also getting like with these hands, the way it's like extending this gift out. It's, some of you might be expecting a gift that feels like an apology or is making it, someone might be trying to make something up to you or you them, it's still very much a general, even though this is a Libra reading for Libra's birthday season, it still is a general reading. So some of you might be doing this towards someone else. Okay. So let's clarify. Let's get more information here. Also, some of you are like, you're getting something and it doesn't feel like a gift because right now it doesn't feel great, or it's not what you wanted. But in retrospect, give it time, you'll see it as a gift. Very interesting. And card 17, if you want to add up the numerology, it's an 8, okay? All right, so let's get further information on the card gift related to Libra's mental body at this time. Why does Libra have gift as the central focus and the central energy of their mental body at this time? Potential jumpers, but they never made it. That one made it, but it fell to the floor. 1 second. Let me see if I can finagle this. Yikes. There we go. Don't know what it is yet. All right. Let's see what else we got. Further information regarding why the gift is here. For Libra's mental body at this time. For Libra, please. Thank you. And the Page of Swords. All right. So that first card that came out was Page of Wands in reverse, 6 of Cups, and the Page of Swords. Okay. All right. Can you see that? And we'll make this a little wider so you can see it a little bit better. But we'll probably pick on them individually anyway. So, Page of Wands reverse, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You don't have to be dealing with a fire sign, but you could be. It doesn't matter. It's a general anyway. 6 of Cups in the center, and then the Page of Swords, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, same deal. Don't have to be dealing with any other air signs. The only sign of importance is you, Libra. I'm getting like this change of events or change of heart in some cases. Something happening regarding a gift, either a physical gift that is given to you or that you give to someone else, or an event, an occurrence, a conversation perhaps in some cases that feels like a gift, is given like a gift, is received like a gift, something like that. And I'm getting this idea of change of heart because the Page of Wands in reverse, when we talk about the pages, all of them, regardless of their sign, they're young energies. They're immature, right? And not to say that you or whoever you're dealing with is immature, not responsible, anything like that, but like immature as in developing, immature as in still growing, immature as in more to learn, more to experience in life, right? And any person, regardless of their physical age, can come into the page energy, right? So you or whoever you're dealing with may have at some point been very rambunctious, very enthusiastic, very sort of unbridled is what this feels like. It feels like maybe a little bratty, or in some cases maybe even petty, something like that. But there's like a big spirit to this card, to this energy, whoever I'm talking about. It could be you, could be someone else. Honestly, Libra, it feels like a mixed bag, like very 50-50. Some of you are this person, some of you are dealing with this person. So, pick your side. But I'm feeling like a large spirit coming off of this person. A lot of maybe narcissism, but not in the way that we're using it in this day and age. I give validity to the usage nowadays, but I mean like narcissism, like in the old school way, like related to like mythology and everything like that, where it's like somebody who's so full of themselves, like egotistical, I suppose. So a narcissist in that way, like they can't get enough of themselves, maybe literally looks in the mirror all the time, or has a very particular look to them, like they put a lot of emphasis in their clothing, their how they present themselves physically in the world. They're like gift, present, how they present themselves in the world. So something like that. If we're dealing with, and that could then trickle back into this use of narcissist, and how maybe somebody views themselves as a gift, like they themselves are a gift to women, to men, to humanity, to this family, to this group of friends, to this business, whatever we're talking about, right? But there's somebody who, and it's in the reverse. So I'm saying all these things that I think occurred before a turning point, because I said something about, what did I say? Change of heart is what I said. It feels as though somebody used to be that way all the time, or that's just sort of how they operated. They thought they were the greatest. And and here's the thing. Okay, so let me clear this up. The narcissistic thing, the modern narcissistic, if you know that's your situation, boom, own it. For the what I'm calling the old school or the quote unquote more traditional way of using narcissist, that someone loves themselves more than others. And that is what some of you are dealing with this Page of Wands, is like they always prioritize themselves. They always made sure that whatever they were doing, whatever they were saying, wherever they were going, they looked a certain way and people perceived them a certain way, right? And again, there's possibly a blurred line between those two usages or definitions. I was mentioning before I got into that there is an element to the same person, or some of you are dealing with a slightly different person in that, yes, they're very prideful and they take pride in their appearance, or they take a lot of, they place a lot of emphasis on how they're perceived. But I feel there's another another side to this person. Let's say it that way. Another side to this person that's actually pretty loving. But you may not have ever known that. Or if it's you, you may not have ever shown that to someone, right? The Page of Wands is enthusiastic, is spirited, loves adventure, is always looking for the next big thing and wants to have a good time. And that has its place and its value. And so what I'm sensing, and this could, and I'm not trying to excuse anything, so please don't misunderstand me. It feels like some of you may have had someone at their best and their worst. Does that make sense? Or you might know the good side of a person and then the bad side of a person. And, for whatever reason, what has transpired between the two of you has led to XYZ. I don't even know. But I'm sensing that whoever I'm talking about, either the same person or just a different person who related to a certain sect of the Libra energy, is actually a pretty okay person. Like I said before, when we opened up the reading, pages just tend to be immature. They tend to be in a consistent state of growth, trying to ascend to the level of knight, queen, and king. Does that make sense? So but this person has had a change of heart. I feel, and I could be wrong, clearly, because it's a general reading, but it feels as though because it's in reverse, someone is retracting that behavior, changing that behavior, or they're being met with the consequences of those behaviors. It's general. It's going to apply in so many different ways. So then you have the Six of Cups come out next. So Six of Cups, for many tarot readers, I will say it sometimes, and I feel like I have to say it this time. For some of you, this is a soulmate. The caveat, if you've been with me for a while, Libra, you already know, is that it doesn't have to be romantic, and soulmate is not some cookie cutter, pink princess, pretty little thing, much tied up with a bow, looking so amazingly perfect. No, a lot of soulmate relationships, regardless of the type, are going to be difficult, are going to be strife. And it's not that you have to accept that or that it makes it a-okay and it's an excuse. It's just the reality of it. Because a soul connection is, oh God, I don't want to go on this rant. But it feels like, if this is a friend or a family member or a lover or whoever, I think someone in the mix, either you or the other person, had this idea that a soulmate is this perfect thing. And I'm going to tell you that's not the case. And, more pertinent than I've probably felt in a while, my caveat or my somewhat deep, it's not even deep, but my explanation or my attempt to explain why that's not healthy to view it that way is really, it has really contributed to some of the misery. Okay. To some of the misery that has been experienced in this dynamic. And this is, again, related to your mental body. So this is something that you're thinking about consciously. If not, it's affecting you subconsciously. And, maybe this tarot reading is kind of cluing you into that. But anyway, so Six of Cups, soulmate. Again, soulmates are not perfect. It's not going to always be. It can be, but it's not always going to be. So hedge your bets, basically. But soulmate is a growing, or a situation or a relationship, a connection that cultivates growth. it nurtures you to grow beyond whatever you need growing beyond, whatever you need to push past, whatever you need to heal, whatever you need to awaken to and realize about yourself more than the other person or anybody else in this world, yourself, and come to terms with, come to a healing point with, come to a point of growth and ascension. Okay. Now, specifically for, I'd say a few of you, quite a few of you, it feels like this is a soulmate that you've known in other lives. And I don't usually get those types of messages, even though I totally believe in reincarnation and stuff. But I don't usually get them in the generals. I get them in privates. In private readings, I should say. Anyway, so I think that you've been down this road with this person over and over again in this life. And that could be part of it, or that could sort of signal for some of you that you've been with this person before in another life, in another lifetime, in another space in time, or space and place in time. You know what I mean? You might have, you know, some of you, Six of Cups can also speak to childhood. And again, it's surrounded by 2 pages. So some of you could be childhood friends with this person. You've known each other since childhood. You are siblings, or you have children together, something like that. Or they are your child, or you are their child. Because again, Six of Cups can signal to childhood, and we do have 2 pages on either side. So there is this aspect of youth, the aspect of childhood, or something about, you know, those bonds that are cemented early in life. And I mean, I don't know about you. I mean, I think it sounds interesting. I don't have any friends from like my early childhood. I think the friends I have in my life, the ones that are quote unquote at this point the oldest in my life, are from high school. Like from when I'm like in 2nd grade. Are you kidding? Like I have no idea who those people are, wherever they are. I hope they're well, but no clue. So for me, when I hear that, I think that's amazing because it's difficult. You know, and maybe I should amend that. The people that who are my friends from my childhood are my siblings. Nobody else. I mean, maybe my cousins, if I want to, you know, if I want to think about it like that, but no one from school or my neighborhood. Like, no, it just, anyway. So if you've known someone since you were a kid, since you were a child, right? I feel as though that is both a very wonderful aspect to your relationship, but it also makes it all the more difficult with this person because you've gone through so much together. And so the ups and the downs, those are natural parts of life, but those down moments with this person kind of hit even harder. You know what I mean? So somebody needed to hear that. Somebody needed to hear like to be kind of acknowledged that, yeah, man, I've spent 40 years knowing this person and we've been through so much together. We've been through the ringer together as friends, as lovers, as family members, whatever your type of relationship. And it has just been, you know, it's been noteworthy, right? So anyway, 6 of Cups, significant connection with this person, whoever they are, however they come into your life. Page of Swords. I think this is a combination. I think, you know, being that it's your birthday season, they are aware. They are aware that it's time to celebrate Libra. Their birthday's coming up. They're thinking about, look at this person. Look at the hand on the chin in this card. This person, they're like thinking about it, wondering, questioning, should I call? Should I text? Should I, you know, surprise them and show up at their door and stand 6 feet apart and like, you know, point to the gift bag that's, you know, sitting on the porch or something like that and wish them well. There's like this deep consideration of to approach you. And it doesn't even have to be that you guys aren't in any communication. It could very well be that you guys are speaking to each other, but there's just a temperature change is what this feels like. It feels like they've been possibly going through something and maybe not sharing it with you, because with the Page of Wands, going back to that for just a second, being in reverse, that's a lack of expression. You know, that's a lack of action taking. That's like the fire is like dying down in a person. The inspiration is dying down. The enthusiasm is dying down. And they've come into this place of contemplation with the Page of Swords. So if they are talking to you, they're not telling you fully what's going on with them. They're not expressing their personal issues, and maybe as a change of pace, they've put a lot of the emphasis or the spotlight on you, so to speak. Because again, some of these people are very narcissistic, or let me just say arrogant, egotistical. Okay. If they're a narcissist, tread lightly. Okay. I don't have the tool set to really advise you on what to do with a true narcissist. Right. But anyway, so, and if you're not speaking to this person, they're thinking about talking to you. Whether or not they'll really do it, I don't know, because the pages, they're just like a lot of thought. They're like the pre-plan. They're like the outline. You can make an outline. You can make a plan, but do you act on the plan? You can have a list that's, 5 items long and a to-do list that's 5 items long or things to do, but never do it. So the most you ever did was put pen to paper and thought about doing something. So there's the caveat for those who are like, oh man, the gift would be talking to this person. The gift would be if they showed up and we, or they even gave me a gift. The gift of them giving me a gift would be amazing. They might not do shit. I got to tell you that. But yeah, so if they're not talking to you, they're thinking about it. If they're not talking to you, they're spying on you. They're watching you. And here's the thing. They might watch your birthday come and go. They might watch the Libra season come and go. So you might be hopeful, wishing, asking possibly, hey, Page of Swords, former Page of Wands, it would be great if you could just, reach out to me. You might blatantly ask this person for a gift, whatever it may be, a physical gift, the gift of conversation, the gift of connection, and they might not give it to you. They might want to, but they might not. I got to tell you that. Like, there's like a lot of, I want to, but I don't feel a lot of like, I'm going to. It's like I want to, I wish it could be this way. I'm thinking about how to make this work, and they might not make it work. Okay? So, what's going on in your physical body, your physical space, your health and wellness, and those types of concerns? Courtship. Ooh, courtship. So for some of you, in your physical world, what's on your mind or what's your focus in your body, you might need to venture down the road of self-love, both figuratively and literally, okay? For some of you, if you've been single for a while or you've been kind of in this dating game and not really pinning anything down, and plus it's 2020, the year of the quarantine, for God's sakes, don't I mean, I don't know what your spiritual belief is or what your belief is in sexuality or anything like that, but some of you might literally need to pleasure yourselves to kind of get get your mojo back, or kind of change around your biochemistry a little bit, or you might need to abstain from it. Some of you might be going a little ham with it. I don't know, but I'm getting like this. For this first part of the message, self-love is important. Court yourself. Date yourself. Treat yourself like you would want to be treated by another person, whether it's romantically or not. You might be happily married, but your family or your friends kind of dog you out a little bit. And so you need to, quote unquote, friend date yourself, or date yourself, or take yourself, like if you, this is just an example. I'm not, intuiting this or anything, but let's say you don't have the best relationship with your mother, and you've always wanted this, let's say specifically a mother-daughter relationship, because those are often very tense, right? Or even a father-daughter relationship, it doesn't matter, or a father-son or a mother-son, it doesn't matter. But let's say you've always wanted to have that type of closeness with your parents, right? And it just never happened. So you kind of have to treat yourself in those ways. Take yourself to brunch. Okay, maybe you're not going out to brunch. Make yourself brunch in the damn kitchen and then go eat it in the living room, and like enjoy the moment for yourself. There's something about enjoying the moment for yourself that's like really jumping off of this card, which is kind of strange because you see two people, holding hands and possibly, exchanging little like, sweet nothings in each other's ears, so to speak. But it feels like, Libra, of your physical body, it's very important that you take care of yourself first. Court yourself, take care of yourself first, nurture yourself, grow it, right? Because that's what a courtship is. You're growing something. You're putting love and energy and effort into something in order to convert it later into a union, right? And maybe that's also what's going on. That could be, see, now Now, some of you, maybe you've already been doing that. Maybe you've already been doing the self-love thing in whatever way that means to you. And maybe now you are starting to connect with a person or connect with people, period. Oh, that's complicated. We'll see if anything comes out about that. So let's see. Let's get some more information on courtship for Libra. Why is that the central energy regarding their physical body, their health, and their wellness at this time? Yes, they want that. Okay. Nice courtship here. Thank you. That's what I thought. Knight of Pentacles. Mm-hmm. All right. There we go. Something like that. All right, so the first card that came out, or that they had me pick, was Ace of Wands. Okay. Knight of Pentacles. All right. And the Five of Cups. Absolutely. So for some of you, this is getting back into the game. This is it's like being on the bench or something in a sport, maybe taking a season off, coming out of retirement, Brett Favre style, something like that. Where you, previous to this point, Libra, well, some of you, okay, they're like, and some of you are going into the locker room. Interesting. So some of you Libras, you're getting back out there. You're getting back out into the dating pool after, again, whether it was related to coronavirus and the pandemic and everything, I don't know. But, and if it was, this has been sort of the effect of it. It really caused you, Libra, or, whoever you're dealing with, to really evaluate themselves and really evaluate, what am I doing with my dating life? What am I doing, out here in this world trying to, find a partner? How am I going about it? Is it the right way? So there's been a lot of reflection. So again, it's like this being in retirement thing, right? So many people, regardless of their sign, have kind of taken that route. It kind of is sort of normalized right now for people to be single, even though people don't want to be single, right? For health and safety reasons, a lot of people are not going on dates, or they're doing virtual dating. You know what I mean? But anyway, so some of you took a season off, or you've taken some time off to focus on yourself. Kind of felt that without the tarot coming out off of that Kipper card. Others of you, you're going to need to do what the other group has done already. Or, wherever you are in your timeline or your trajectory, I don't know. But anyway, Ace of Wands. So that passion, that fire, that fervor, that excitement over prospects and, getting the butterflies of talking to a new person, or feeling enamored with a new person, curious about another person, and like the excitement of sharing your interest, the excitement of sharing your senses of humor and your favorite TV shows and music and all that shit, and all the bells and whistles that come along with the dating process, and if it's more serious, what's your 401k looking like, what's your what's your financial portfolio looking like, whatever flirting is like for you specifically, right? It doesn't have to be oh my god, I love Friends, me too, it doesn't have to be like that. Anyway, but I think like this reinvigorated, and like I said with the, what I was talking about with the courtship card, this reinvigorated, possibly trying to become familiar again, even with like sex. Okay. I don't know how long some of you have been without, but some of you have been without for a while. And so it's like this, ooh, I'm going to do the sex again. I'm going to do the sexing thing again. This is great. And and so it's like refamiliarizing yourself, or feeling reignited in those ways where before it wasn't happening by choice and or by, circumstance. It just wasn't happening. Now there's sort of like this opening for you guys to go ahead and get that going. Good for you, if that's what you're after. But again, I think this is coming after, for some of you, a long rest, so to speak, a long time out, a season off. And it doesn't have to be because of 2020. Some of you could have been in a timeout or season off for like 10 years or something. Who knows? Now, there's another group of you where the passion is running wild. because this is a fox, right? And I mean, I'm not a nature person per se, but I've seen a couple documentaries. I watch a couple cool clips on here on YouTube, right? Foxes are fast, right? That's why, humans alone often, what? Don't people like get dogs to help hunt foxes and stuff? Because they're so fast, they're so wily, they're so clever, right? So I feel some of you Libras, your dating life hasn't had a break yet since you began back in 19 whatever when you started dating for the first time. And that's not shade. That's just how some people live. That's just how some people experience life. And I feel some of you are like feeling this call to recognize that, calm that down, rein that in, maybe because of societal pressures, maybe because of pressures from your family and friends, who knows? But, in general, I don't necessarily support this, but I know it's touted this way. It's not a cool look to be single and 40. What are you doing with your life? Why aren't you married? That kind of shit. So there's something in your physical world where maybe your body is changing, the physical space that you occupy. You have a lovely home, but it's a lovely home for one, and it's just you and your little border collie or something like that, and you're always sitting down together on the, dogs and pets, they're wonderful companions, but for many people, it's not a significant, or it's not an actual replacement for a human companion. And so some of you are like coming into that realization of like, I love my dog. He's a wonderful person, a wonderful little creature to have alongside me, but he can't, talk to me and scream at the TV over this Tiger King thing that everybody was watching all those months ago. You know what I mean? Like if you've spent the majority of your quarantine dating and having virtual dates or, chit-chatting with people, but you don't have a long-time companion by your side, I feel like someone in that situation is, yes, that's why it's here. Thank you. They're feeling very lonely. So to continue with the second group that's been out there and have been consistently involved with people, possibly courting one person, but maybe it's not going anywhere, or maybe it's kind of reached its peak, its plateau, and you don't see that you're going anywhere anymore. I feel a lot of you might have been on that fast track, so to speak, or as my mom used to say about herself, hot pants. I was a hot pants when I was young. I was like, okay, mom. Anyway, so it's like some of you might have this like all of a sudden just like shut it down, slow this down. This is going too fast, or I'm not finding what I want, right? So your physical space, you might have a lovely home and it's very comfortable, but you're realizing it's empty. As much as you've got, each room decorated the way you want, and you can, have wonderful guests, or your friends can come over, you can throw parties and stuff like that. It's not an actual home that you share with a partner that you've made a family with, something like that. And, it doesn't even have to be like that. It doesn't even have to be, be married, 2.5 kids or whatever in the picket fence, that old formulaic thing. It can be very untraditional. Maybe you want several partners. Maybe you're like, oh man, I would love to be married to this person and that person. Can I have it both? And whatever you're thinking. It's been a lonely road. Knight of Pentacles. Slow moving, slow process towards this realization perhaps. Working, possibly, very hard to sustain yourself, but not have anyone to share it with, right? And that's why courtship is here. You're wanting to court somebody, or you're wanting someone to court you if you're, wanting to be swept up. Who knows? Or the people that you have been courting haven't been worthy. Or like going back to that first group, the Brett Favres of the conversation, you've had a season off. You've had several seasons off where you've cultivated this for yourself and you haven't been eager to get back out there. But now, for whatever reason, you feel the itch to go back out onto the field. There's something about making progress on your own, or even when you're with other people, feeling alone and being evaluating that. What has it garnered for you thus far? Where, there's a lot of questioning, I feel, over this courtship related to your physical world, related to your physical body, right? Because some of you, for some of you, no offense to anybody, you put a lot of miles on that body of yours, okay? And you're kind of like, oh shit. I'm not shading anybody, but this is, this is reality. You've put a lot of miles on on them tires. And now you're like, man, I don't have anybody in my house who, if things go awry, I don't have anybody in my life who really wants to, take me on. I do not mean to insult anybody, but like some of you are in that realization, or you're evaluating that. Is the mileage too high for me to still be, a viable candidate to be somebody's potential boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever? Am I too long in the tooth? Have I had too much experience? Okay, right? To really get someone to want to be with me. And listen, that's a very specific train of thought, but it's real, And it doesn't even have to be, so illicit or explicit in terms of sex. It could literally be, I've been married twice, but I don't know if I want to get married again. And it could be, in the dating world, you're meeting a lot of people who are in your age group, whatever your age is, whatever your socioeconomic status is, who are like, oh, I want to settle down, I want to get married, and you're twice burned. And you're like, never again. And you may have met someone, courtship again, who's like, maybe very Ace of Wands. I can't wait to get married. I can't wait to make a commitment, or to have this next step of the life path adventure with someone else. And you come in with the Knight of Pentacles being like, maybe we should slow this down. Maybe we should plan this differently, or think about this differently. You know what I mean? The Knight of Pentacles is feeling like a super critical, aware energy. Not wanting to make a misstep, not wanting to make a mistake, and wanting to be sure where their value is. And when I say value, I mean possibly their values, like, so what you value, what's important to you right now. For some of you, living alone and being alone right now, that's the way to go. For some of you, finding a partnership is the way to go. Whatever it is, I feel there's a fear, a worry of missing out. 5 of Cups, of missing out. So for some of you guys, to go from committed to single, you feel like you're missing out on that partnership. To be single and go towards a partnership, you feel you're going to miss out on that singlehood, that independence. There's a fear of going to one side or the other. And, again, Libra energy, you're an air sign, you're one of the signs of duality. This is very common for a Libra general reading, to be of two minds, or to be able to express two sides to the same issue of partnership, of courtship, of sharing a life with a person, of spending physical quality time with another person, right? And it doesn't have to be purely romantic, but this feels very romantic, this part of your reading. So some of you are spinning in your head, having a conniption almost over someone else or people that you're encountering while you're dating, wanting to settle down. And you're like, I don't know if I want to settle down. Maybe you've been burned before by previous relationships, marriage or not, it doesn't matter. Or maybe you're not, totally ready to commit yourself to a person, even though you've never, and maybe you've never been committed before. Maybe you have a fear of commitment, some of you, right? Others of you, there's oh god, some of you are like thinking in those terms, I'm gonna die alone. And I don't mean to mock, because that's a literal fear, that's a literal concern that a lot of people have, and they would be right to have it, but it's like, it's maybe melodramatic, the way it's coming across in your own mind, or the way, some of your friends might be telling you, Libra, you're tripping, you're going way off the deep end here. Of course you're not gonna die alone, you're gonna have me. Your best friend or whatever. But you're just like, no, I'm serious, best friend. I'm going to die alone. No one's going to love me. Never again. It's just like very downer. Whatever angle you're coming at this from, or perspective, I should say, that you're coming at this from, is very down. It's not optimistic, but there is a desire, or there's someone else who carries optimism and excitement here. So it's like you could be very much battling yourself at this time regarding dating, regarding connection, regarding how to get back out there, how to rein it in, take a time out, park the garage, park the car in the garage. Not like WAP, not like Cardi B says. Although some of you might need that. Big Mac truck in this little garage. I turned this over without even getting into it. I'm sorry. This next one is going to be your spiritual body. What's going on with your spiritual journey at this time, or what's the central focus of your spiritual journey, and everything related to that, let's say. Okay, judication. All right. So I'm getting like big hits of karma, okay? And that kind of fits, you know, your card in the tarot is justice. Your archetype in the astrological wheel does have a lot of bearing on fairness and what is good and fair in partnerships, period, paragraph, right? Here in this card, because the Kipper deck has a lot of familial and familiar relations. Like a little bit, some of the cards talk of industry or business, but a lot of these cards in the Kipper deck talk of family relations or familiar relationships. So for some of you, your spiritual body, y'all are working on some type of divorce. And based off of everything that we said previously to your physical life, that could be a literal divorce in your life, okay? For others of you, it's more of a spiritual karmic divorce. And I mentioned that in someone's reading months ago, this concept of spiritual divorce or karmic divorce or something I said. I can't remember who it was, and it was so long ago, I don't even know. Anyway, but that's a thing. And I don't know what you believe in, or I don't know what you don't believe in, Libra. But some of you might have, oh, I did mention. Thank you. They're like, no, you did mention. Way back here. 6 of Cups. Right? Yeah, 6 of Cups. I had said some of you might be dealing with a person who you have previous lives with. That could be the type of divorce or separation or contract that you are spiritually needing to be done with, free of, and it's not that it's not going well. It could or could not be, I don't know. But it's tiresome, I'll tell you that, because look at the Judge. Look at the Judge. I mean, like the look he's giving is kind of, he's giving like for a minute, for like a microsecond, like I heard, bitch please. Like what is this line of bullshit these people are trying to tell me? But now that I look a little bit further into it, there is another way that you could view his face. It does look like he does have some type of general concern for the wellness of both of these people. And both of these people, even though we're seeing the backs of them, you can see they're not looking too proud of themselves. So this is, again, it could be literal, like in the 3D world, lawful issues that you need to be sewn up. And that's going to help you spiritually speaking. It could be you have contractual arrangements in your business life, your professional life, that's really harming your spiritual body at this time. Something like that. But for many of you, this is beyond what we perceive here on Earth. This is something cosmic. This is something that is dealing with things, events, people, intermingling of spirits and souls from eons ago, decades or centuries ago, that you don't even consciously remember, but it's showing up in your present day. Wow. Anyway, let's get some further information on this for Libra, please. Why is judication here regarding their spiritual body at this time? Knight of Swords. Lots of people. Okay, and 8 of Swords. Yikes. Yikes. Okay, first card that came out with it was the... Oh, Jesus Christ. What did I say? 9 of Cups in reverse. Knight of Swords or after that, and then the Eight of Swords after that. All right, Libra. So for some of you, things are getting wrapped up, or things, if not wrapped up, they're coming to a head, or they're finally going to be processed. Like I'm getting, okay. Like it's a stretch. It's a stretch to make this connection. But remember and I'm not going to pull the cards out, but remember the hands that were offering the gift in the first card regarding your mental body. And then we have this adjudication thing. I'm feeling like some of you are waiting to receive something and you might think it's a gift. Like I said, I did say that. You might think it's a gift, but it's not really, or you don't think it is a gift, but it really will be a gift once time passes and you're able to reflect back to this moment in time. You're going to see that it was a gift. And I'm getting the sense that, okay, this is kind of a dick move. And if it comes true, I would be so floored. I feel like some of you, like, you're expecting a gift from the person some of you might be married to, or you might be in business with, or something like that. And they're like, here, open it. And you open it up and it's divorce papers, or it's a subpoena or some shit where they're basically taking you to court, and you're like, on my birthday though? It's like, that's ridiculous. That's dramatic. That's so petty. That's not a good flavor, not a good taste, not in good taste. Okay. Right. That's tacky, baby. It only works in drama. It only works for television. Like if you do that to somebody in real life, like what a dick move. No offense if it's you or if it's just, I don't care. Oh, anyway. So that doesn't feel great in the moment. You open something and you think it's meant to be a gift to celebrate your birthday, or to say thank you, or to express something in kind, or something with kindness, and you open it and it's like a big old slap in the face. Oh. So anyway, adjudication. Why is that out here? Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups typically talks about wish fulfillment. You know, the cat gets the canary. I'll show you this upright so you can get a better look at it. This cat has swallowed the canary, looks pretty happy, looks pretty fed, right? Not so much the case. And again, it's a general, so it can go the other way. I'm addressing this as Libra, 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 and everything's happening to you because it's your birthday reading. But again, it still is general, so it could be flipped. So hopefully you've been doing that the entire time if you need. But I don't get the sense that maybe there's like been a lot of wishful thinking. Maybe there's been a lot of hoping and a lot of praying. And again, it could be in the moment as you live through it, Libra, whatever is transpiring, whatever unfolds to you feels like a goddamn nightmare. And it leaves, like I said, it's not in good taste. It leaves a sour taste in your mouth, a bitter taste in your mouth. The people or the person specifically, if it's one that you're dealing with, possibly, maybe even the judge. Maybe you don't, and that's the thing about, when we get into court systems, the person this has come out in Gemini's reading for like a month and a half or something like that, where it could be people in legal places of, or God speak right, Jay, in positions of legal prowess and power, judges and lawyers, maybe even like detectives if you're talking about police, where they might have an axe to grind. They might be the people that are treating another person not so nicely, and the person that they represent, the client, the whoever they're representing, actually has no like real venom. Like, again, it's like something else that could be dramatized, right? It's like one of those things where two people might want to sever a relationship, but one or both of the lawyers are going at it like cats and dogs. He's not going to treat you like that. You're going to get all the money. He's going to pay every dime. And you're just like sitting there like, I don't even want to do that. I don't even want to do that. That's not even why I never wanted to go to that level, but the lawyer is so insistent. Or friends and family around are like, get him, take everything he's got, take that bitch to the cleaners, whatever, So, oh my God. So again, this feeling is coming out where through adjudication, official channels, someone's wishes are not being answered today, not this actual day, but like in this foreseeable present moment, or this, for let's say the next couple months or so, maybe the remainder of 2020, who knows? it feels like not great, right? Not great. To live through it, to experience it, to deal with it on a day-to-day basis, boo dandies. This sucks. Not a good feeling, right? But what did I say at the beginning with that gift card? This card of the gift in the Kipper deck. It might not feel like a gift right now, but give it a while and maybe it will be that way. So this Nine of Cups in reverse, I think, is speaking to someone taking an L, taking a lump, taking a hit, and basically suffering through it. I hope it's not you, Libra. You're the person I'm talking to. This is your reading. And for the moment, you're the person I care about the most. And I care about you guys, all of my clients, all of the people who watch my general readings, but probability says all you hundreds, possibly sometimes thousands of people can't all get the win. You can't always, you all collectively cannot be on top. Does that make sense? So I have the sympathy for you, but I also know that some of the Libras are the culprits here, right? I kind of said that earlier in the reading. And I kind of said, well, whatever, I'm not going to go down that avenue again. But so wishes not necessarily coming true. And the burden I feel, Libra, what I'm actually feeling is you are compartmentalizing. Like this reading is very compartmentalized in itself. But I'm not seeing too much overlap. Like even this initial person who's changed their ways and changed their behaviors, this could be an old boyfriend, old girlfriend who's just, suddenly reappearing in your life and may not go anywhere. So they might be a distraction. And then you might have someone in your life that you're dating right now or that you're interested in right now, but you're still not in the healthiest spot to be dating them, right? Or something like that. And then in this third place of your spiritual body, you could be dealing with something lawful, something legal, something that's impactful towards your business life or your personal life that has nothing to do with the first two. I feel, Libra, you might be juggling a lot of different dramas in your life. So anything else with the Nine of Cups? Because I think that's really the only thing here. It's like all the well-wishing and all the hoping and the praying, no offense, it's going to feel like it was for nothing for somebody. If it's not you, it's the other person. So maybe that's the consolation. If it's not you, it's the other person. Where they were hopeful things were going to turn in their favor. And let me tell you, it's not happening. It's not happening. And it's not happening very quickly. So, that's the other thing. Okay. And going back, like, more than anything, the Kippers feel related, but the tarot doesn't feel super related. And I don't know that I could explain that differently or really get you guys to understand what I'm feeling emotionally. But I feel like the gift, again, feels like boo-boo for some of you, might be delivered very quickly to you, unexpectedly. With the Knight of Swords. Air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Someone in this situation is thinking and talking quickly. They might even be acting very quickly. So you might get news. Like, here we go. Maybe some of you have been expecting. Maybe you've had the date circled on your calendar, written down in your diary or in your what are those things called? Appointment books, right? Do people still use those? Whatever the equivalent is, probably just marked on your tablet or your smartphone or something like that. But anyway, you may have a date circled. Look at that, the 30th. That's coming up, September 30th maybe. This card being 30. So some of you might have a court date on the 30th. And you're thinking, maybe your lawyers or whoever else is preparing you, this is going to take like 3 or 4 days, that we might go a full week to trial, or we might be in deliberation, or not deliberations, but mediation or something for like 5 days or something like that. And then that's done in 2 days. Like there's something very quick. Like you might be expecting a long, drawn out thing. You might be expecting things to really hang around. Why am I saying that? Eight of Swords. You might be expecting things to really linger and hang around. But I don't really know that that's going to work. It's going to work out that way for some of you guys. Some of you, it's going to be over quick, fast, and in a hurry, right? Because someone else might have, if you're dealing with like the law, court systems and stuff like that, as much as, from the layman, the people who don't work it every day, it feels like it, takes forever to happen, right? You've been waiting weeks or months for some case to be seen before a judge. And then people are telling you, it'll take about a week. We could expect to be in arguments for like a week or something like that. You get in there, the case is started and over within 2 days. So maybe that's also what's going on. And remember, I told you about the face of this person. Like the judge kind of looks like he's got better things he wants to be doing, right? So while these two people, maybe their lives are in tatters, being totally dismantled and destroyed, the judge is like, all right, so I got like another case I need to get to. Can you stop your sobbing? And so we can just get on with it, So there might be, and that would make sense with the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords isn't known for his compassion, and I only say he because it's a knight, it could be a female I'm talking about. But the Knight of Swords as an energy in tarot isn't compassionate, isn't caring about how quickly he or she moves throughout the world, how quickly he or she, presents an argument, presents a case, or makes a statement and then doesn't allow other people to, respond. It's like, I don't have time to wait for you to get get your feelings and your emotions and your thoughts in order. Here's what's going on. Here's what's happening, blah, 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 blah. Like very boom, 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 boom. Point A to B to C to D to E to F to G and all the way down to Z. This person doesn't stop, right? So I don't know. It's a lot, Libra. And some of you, you're not really going to court per se, because that's not for everybody. Not everybody is going to court or in some type of legal battle, but it feels, like I said before, cosmic. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. This is where that's coming in. Because I was like, I know in the beginning, I was like, some of you are dealing with like somebody from a past life and it's karmic or it's cosmic and all that stuff. And that's still true. But then I went and talked forever about this being like within the actual physical court system here that we have in our existence. This Eight of Swords, as I switch to it, is reminding me that some of you are seeking justice, or you're in some type of battle with a person karmically, or yourself, maybe. Let me phrase it this way. You are coming to grips and coming into realization over your own karmic ties, bonds, contracts. You are settling your own karmic debts, or at least you could be. You could be. I sense here maybe some of you have been confused, or you don't understand how the two are related. So you might very well be going through a lot of upheaval and drama in your actual 3D life, your quote unquote real life, the life that you interact with in a conscious space. And the true judgment or the true battle is happening in your spiritual world, right? And this Eight of Swords is feeling like not able to rectify the two, not able to correlate the two, not understanding that you having it out possibly with an old friend of yours going back here, where maybe somebody's turning over a new leaf or you're turning over a new leaf and, wanting to make amends, but then not having necessarily put forth the effort, or not really wanting to put forth the effort, right? And then all this stuff about the dating and the sort of having these fears regarding commitment, or fears regarding, extended points of singlehood and all that stuff. Some of you don't realize that is your karmic debt being repaid. That is your karmic debt coming to a close, or you're just starting in on the account. It's like going to pay a bill. You show up to the payment window. I'm here to pay my karmic debt. And they're like, you owe blah, 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 blah. And it's like this laundry list of things that you didn't know you were charged with. Again, if we're using this analogy of debt, you didn't know you owed. You didn't know you were charged in these ways. You didn't know that after working for so long, for so many years, buying a beautiful home for yourself, having wonderful friends and family members, you didn't know that when you got into your 40s or your 50s or even in your 20s or 30s, that after you had these huge moments of personal success in your career, that you would feel lonely. Like some of you have never felt lonely before. And I'm not saying that's a good or bad thing. It's just like that's a revelation to you. The irony is that you don't see the connection of how you feeling lonely has anything to do with karma. Some of you are thinking, I'm just depressed. And you would be. That would be true of your physical experience. But it does all relate to karma. It all does. I'm not here to, hold your hand or, I mean, maybe that sounded a little harsh. I'm sorry. I would encourage you to investigate that. What is karmic debt? How is karmic debt acquired? What is karmic debt when we realize, or if we suspect we're dealing with karmic debt, what are we meant to do with it? How are we meant to proceed, right? In other cases, regardless of karmic debt, there's this feeling stuck. Okay, thank you. For both, whether we're focusing purely on some type of court issue, some type of serious legal action that's occurring in your life, and or the karmic debt, the the adjudication that is occurring on the spiritual plane, right? We could be talking about both. Regardless, I feel, Libra, someone in this situation, I would believe it's you, feels very stuck, feels very bound. And that's the other thing about karmic debt. And also debts or certain rulings that come down from the court. You feel penalized. You feel like there's no way I could ever pay for that. There's no way I could ever make this right, right? If this is alimony, if this is some type of civil case, right? And someone says to you, Libra, for whatever reason, I don't know what the egregious action or whatever you would be found quote unquote guilty of, or whoever would be found guilty, it doesn't have to be you, could be someone else. If someone says you're going to pay a fine of $200,000 to most people, that's exorbitant. That's, where am I ever going to get that much money? I'm always going to be paying that money until the day I die. I'll never be able to pay that debt. Eight of Swords. I'll never be able to get over this. I'll never be able to make headway here. I'm never, ever going to be able to square this. That applies in so many ways. I'm not going to sit here and run all the ways down, but I hope you get it. Because that applies to, again, your physical life here on earth and also your spiritual life. What you believe in or don't believe in exists outside of here, okay? So that is, we're done using this deck. And those are your three bodies, right? Mental, physical, and spiritual. We're now going to talk about purpose. Not your necessarily overall purpose in this life, but what is the central focus of your purpose at this time? Your purpose might be something very different than what is shown up, that shows up here in this card, but this is what you need to be paying the most attention to right now, okay? Concern. I laugh because I'm just like, well, I was kind of getting this feeling as I was wrapping up with your spiritual body. Some of you don't really know what your purpose is. You're concerned about that. You don't have a sense of it. You feel lost in your purpose, or you feel concerned that maybe you're not fulfilling your purpose, or your purpose is to be concerned, period. Maybe you've disregarded others. Maybe you've disregarded yourself. Maybe before you've been so busy doing other things, prioritizing other relationships or other elements and facets in your life, that you've neglected something somewhere else, right? So where and how to focus your concern, funnel that energy, utilize this is probably what the purpose is. You need to utilize, transmute concern into something effective or positive, right? Something like that. I feel in some of your cases, you haven't been concerned for a particular person or people in general. Others of you, it's like you're not concerned with yourself and you've prioritized others, and you both need to swap that action, swap the concern, swap the focus, right? If you've been focused on yourself, stop being focused on yourself. If you've been focused on other people, start being focused on other people. Because again, I'm getting like this idea of, where were we talking about that before? Maybe with courtship, I think, where you may have worked a very long time in your life, or you've been working at this time for a while on a particular goal, and it's ingratiated you, or it's gotten you to a level of a particular, let's say, economic status or social status that you're very proud of, but you might not have anyone to share it with, and that could concern you. There could be, in some of your cases, focus over lineage, inheritance, things like that. But let's get some further information. So why is concern here regarding Libra's purpose? Why is concern here regarding Libra's purpose? Good, thank you. The Lovers, okay. Gemini. They've been big players this month. Why is concern here regarding Libra's purpose? Five of Pentacles. Ay, 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 ay. But we'll see. We'll see what else happens. Oh no, that's 3. We're not taking 3. We don't take 3 when there's already 2 out. Let's go. Concern in Libra's purpose. Why is that here? Please show me. 7 of Wands. Okay. So wow. That just got like really sullen. Like my energy just totally took a dip, if I'm honest. It feels like a what now kind of situation. It feels like a what now. Lovers, major arcana for Gemini, 5 of Pentacles, and then the 7 of Wands. Lovers first. This or that. Left or right, up or down. You know, Lovers is about choice. Often in tarot, we are talking about choosing a particular person. Well, I shouldn't even say often. Well, yeah, that actually fits. Often in tarot. On my channel, not so much. But in tarot overall, Lovers is often about choosing, not necessarily between two people, but choosing a person, choosing a path to walk with a person or without that person, right? So that could be at play here. For some of you, your purpose does. They're reminding me that 6 of Pentacles, or excuse me, that 6 of Cups that we talked about here in the first reading. That might be here as well, right? Because Lovers is often considered a soulmate card, and I've already gone over it. Soulmate does not have to be romantic, and it doesn't have to be pleasant, and that's it. But some of you, your decision, or the decision of another person who is a soulmate to you, is of concern, and it is part of your purpose. You know, it's not the greatest path, but it's true. Some people are put on this earth to, quote unquote, do great things. You know, Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., you know, all these people have been put here to really impact humanity on these global, massive scales that resonate and reverberate through generations, throughout history, right? You know, and even someone who's notorious, like Henry VIII or something. Just like these noteworthy historical people, yeah? Other people, your purpose on earth is just to fall in love, or just to build a copacetic relationship with another person, start a family with a person. You know, and, you know, this is so cheesy, and maybe not even cheesy, but this is like such a J thing. Immediately, when I'm sitting here, I'm like, why am I talking about this? So, I think most of us have seen that movie, Forrest Gump. And there's that scene, and I haven't even seen this recently, but I can recall this scene so well. And spoiler, if you haven't watched that movie, go ahead and like fast forward or something. But in that movie, Sally Field, his mother, when she's dying and he goes to see her, he says, "Mama, what's my destiny?" And she says, "Forrest, I don't know what your destiny is." And none of us really do. Or something like that. But she eventually says, "I didn't know it, but my destiny was to be your mother." That's it. She wasn't, you know, and I mean, we saw her a few times in that movie, and she wasn't doing anything half as exciting as Forrest Gump did. But her purpose was to facilitate him, to nurture him, to raise him, to birth him, for God's sakes. That's her purpose. And I'm not, I don't mean to like, I'm not saying this to like dash anybody's dreams of being like super impactful or super important to, the history of humanity. I'm not trying to say just because that's what you think your purpose is, you need to sit down on the bench and realize you're just supposed to be like Sally Field and give birth to somebody who's, going to have an adventure. No, what I'm saying is everybody's purpose is tailor-made to them. And it's sometimes very grand. Sometimes it's very monumental. Sometimes it's very huge and obvious and impactful to the world. Other times it's very quiet. I'm just supposed to, not, and some people actually are fulfilled by that. My greatest, a lot of people have said this to me, the people who are parents, especially mothers, have told me, the greatest thing that I've ever done in my life is become a mother. Jay, you should try it. I'm like, I don't see that happening anytime soon. Not in the traditional way, at least. It's not in the cards. I don't think so. But I could be wrong, but I don't think so. But, they tell me this is the greatest thing that has ever happened to me, right? So going back to what I was saying, some of you have a soul contract with a person. We've talked about it several times, and they may not be, and that's the other thing. Soulmates are not just, it's not one person. You have many soulmates in life, right? So we might be talking about 2 to 3, maybe even 4 or 5 different soulmate relationships that you have, Libra, and they all might have a certain significance or a certain, what's this connecting point at this time, like a meeting at this time that might be super important to you. Like you might be realizing, oh, my brother is a soulmate to me. My first husband is a soulmate to me. And then I'm thinking also my boss might be a soulmate, but I kind of hate him. He's a dick. And you're just like, why are all of these relationships of soul quality? And you might not realize it that way. You might not, as I was saying, you might not recognize it as such with the 8 of Swords. But let's, go with me for a second. Let's say you had 3 or 4 soulmate relationships having significant change or drama or upheaval at this time. Significant waves, let's say. It's kind of crazy that all that equals part of your purpose. And it does, Libra. At least in this reading, it does. It's part of your purpose to make these choices, to align yourself with certain pathways with people or release yourself from certain pathways with people, right? So again, the Lovers is about choice. It doesn't have to be like what this looks like or how a lot of people talk about it, choosing between 2 people or choosing to be in partnership with one person over another. It doesn't have to be that. It can literally be the choices that you make in terms of healing, the choices that you make in terms of like I said, sort of relinquishing and settling debts with a person, either literal, monetary debts or whatever you have in this physical world, or cosmic debts, right? It's how you proceed. That is of concern to your purpose, or the central part of your purpose right now is to have this concern, to have this conscious thought over what am I doing with that person? How is this relationship transforming? How is this relationship moving forward? How are we going to come into union if we're coming into union? Or how are we going to separate if that's what we're doing? It does not have to be romantic. I could be talking about your best friend Sally and your next door neighbor Sam. It does not matter who this person is or these people are. Some of them, maybe they are romantic partners. Regardless, this prospect of choosing, some of you feel really poor, or poorly, I should say. Poorly. You don't feel good about this. 5 of Pentacles. See, Google, you done messed up. One moment, please. All right, Libra, I apologize about that. Google has changed. Oh, God, they've changed so much. I'm totally pissed about it, but, I'm just a little old person. I can't complain. Anyway, so some of you feel not great about this. Having so much turmoil, so much upheaval in your life, so many relationships kind of in flux or in evaluation or reevaluation or being restructured, or fear that you'll never have, because like I said before up here, fear that some of you will never have something. Maybe you had something once before and now you don't have it again, or you fear you will never have it again. Some of you, maybe you're fearing you're never going to have something for the first time. Maybe you've had great dating relationships. Let's go with it that way. Maybe you've always had wonderful partners that you've been with. Maybe you've had a fantastic marriage for the past 20, 30, 50 years of your life, whatever. But now, as your life progresses and other people's lives progress, you might be lamenting and feeling like, oh, I want to reconcile, or I want to, I said this earlier, like some of you don't have the perfect in your eyes. I question the use of perfect. Whenever I use that word, it's facetiously because it's not true. Anyway, some of you don't have family relationships, particularly possibly with your mother or father, that are healthy, that have ever been stable, and you've always kind of felt like this, alone, without proper shelter, without proper shelter. Because what is this? This is someone outside in a rainstorm, outside of a church, outside of a place that's full of warmth and supposed to be a place of refuge, a place of healing, a place of safety, right? So some of you have never had that in your life. You grew up, no offense to you, in a dysfunctional home, or possibly, you were, adopted or something like that. And some of you are really feeling affected, that it's like affecting you, knowing that whoever your biological parents are or were, some of you are like struggling with this feeling of not being wanted, even though you have a lovely husband or a lovely wife. You have wonderful children. The family that you were adopted by, they ingratiated you, and they've always loved you from beginning to end, from the moon and back, or to the moon and back, excuse me, right? But there's still like this empty part of you that's seeking something and not feeling fulfilled or feeling embraced. Yeah? And you're concerned about this. And I'm telling you, there's something, because this position is about purpose. It is for a reason. It's part of your design, of why you were incarnated on this earth at this time. There's purpose to this. And that's not necessarily the greatest message to deliver or receive, I should say, but it's true. Others of you, what you're going through, physically speaking, or excuse me, to your physical, your material world, I should say, your material world, you might be making choices, or people might be making choices that affect your material world and will leave you feeling a little poor. If not, I'm not saying this is deserved, but some of you might literally face financial ruin, or if not ruin, financial hardship. Or that's a part of your story somehow. Like, you might be dealing with people who lead you to financial hardships, and the choice to divorce from such a person, whether it's a legal marital divorce or, again, a spiritual divorce. Listen, if somebody is a drain on you, and I did mention that word narcissist before, if that's the case, and that's a complex relationship, but you love them, that's gonna really be a struggle. That's gonna be something that you have to sit and ponder with this energy of concern. Final card regarding your purpose, 7 of Wands. So Libra, hi, you're not really wanting to talk about this. You don't really want to engage in this energy. You would rather forget about it in some cases, or on the levels that I've talked about it, some of you, it's just like not your bag. You don't want to think of it in these terms, or you don't see the correlation. And I understand. I'm not always the best at explaining things. Totally understand that. And I'm not sitting here like I'm some authority, like I wrote the book of your life. I have no idea if I'm even, ballpark correct. But the way I'm feeling it is that it's a lot to handle at one time. And so the posture some of you might take is to be extremely defensive. If not defensive, private, extremely private, which is an odd thing for a Libra because you're one of the more expressive signs out of the zodiac. I mean, all of the air signs are expressive, but, to be honest, Aquarius is probably the least expressive. You're probably very much in the middle between Aquarius and Gemini. So you have your moments where you do want to kind of, take a day off, unplug from the world for a little while, get some me time in and all that kind of stuff. But I feel this is like extra because as the situation evolves, or I should be holding it the other way, my bad. As the situation evolves and or the choices becomes all the more apparent to you, and maybe the aftermath of these choices leave you feeling kind of in this sorrowful, sad, and lonely or rejected space, you might not want to be your, quote unquote, normal self, where people might be expecting Libra to show up and be, happy or have some jokes or just be, pleasant. I get the sense that some of you are just like, yeah, not today. No, not today. And then someone might express concern. Hey, Libra, what's going on? You're not going to be wanting to express what's wrong. And that could be it. So you see how, she's holding the one wand and she's fending off all these others. That could be why you don't have the energy to put on a brave face or a happy face or be your normal self, because you're not fighting. What is it? I haven't watched that show, but like that's the title of a show right now. Little Fires Everywhere, right? Or something like that, where it's like you put out one fire over here, another fire springs up over here. And I told you that before. We could be talking about several different relationships in your life all at one time are having certain upheavals, changes, drama unfold. And you might be thinking, why is this going on? Why is this happening all at once, simultaneously? I told you it's part of your purpose. And as your sign designates on the natural zodiac wheel, Libra, you're the house of partnerships. You're the 7th house. So connectedness with other people innately is important to you. To what degree, to which types, that's going to be different per individual. But Libras in general, 7th house energy encompasses partnerships, right? How we navigate, how we negotiate, how we get along with other people, and how we make these relationships fair, balanced, even, right? Final card. I know, I'm pretty sure I didn't do any. I've only done 2 of these before you, Leo and Virgo, but yours is the longest thus far of these birthday messages. Anyway, soul connections. What is the focus of your soul connections at this time during your birthday season? Wealthy man. Card 13. Hello. Okay. So for some of you, okay. Now for some of you very specifically, like 1 or 2 of you, in your former life, you were a wealthy man, or you were attached in some way to a wealthy man as your father, your husband, your brother. Maybe, the person who owned all the real estate in your town when, back in the, 1800s or something like that. Like this is some like mogul who owned, the business that you worked for, the factory that you worked for, whatever. Wealthy man, the impact of a very masculine person and their wealth, what they are worth, is very important to your soul connections at this time. Whether that's presently in this life or from a previous life. Like I told you, if you don't know about karmic debt, if you don't understand certain aspects of what karma is, look into it, research it. It all blends together, right? So let's get some information on wealthy man for Libra, please. Why is wealthy man here regarding Libra soul connection? Some of you are with this person. They are your partner. They're your family member. I rarely say this, but he's come out so strong. In most of your cases, this is a man. It doesn't have to be. But if it's a man, he a man. That old amends man, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean in this day and age, for God's sakes. But this person is very old school. Might be old money. That whole thing of old versus new money, inheritance, rich, somebody, whoo, yes. All right, so clarify the wealthy man or give us further information about the wealthy man regarding Libra's soul connections. It could be you. Oh, look at that little curveball. Or maybe I did say it. But that came through also. Let's say it this way, Libra. You could have been the wealthy man in your previous life, and you're sitting there being a, median income earning woman. And you're like, huh? I'm the wealthy man? You were. Possibly some of you. You were. You used to be. And your karma, what's transpiring in your life now, might be related to what happened then. Interesting. Anyway, let's get into it. Further information on wealthy man for Libra. What can we tell Libra about wealthy man? Why is this card here for them regarding their soul connections, please? All right, one. Duh, move it over. Thank you. They're like, place it on the card. Wealthy man for Libra. Why is this card here today for Libra? Zephyr. Okay. Slight side position. Let's see. Which way for Libra? Yeah. Okay. They're like right there. They're like, you don't even have to turn it. Just do it that way. So first, 7 of Cups or Water Illusion. Oh, I turned that one over already. The Fool. Major Arcana for Aquarius. Or second, yes, primary major. And then the Magus, aka the Magician. Secondary major for, there it is again, Gemini and Virgo. Could be dealing with any of the signs that I mentioned or not at all. All right, so 7 of Water. Again, 7 of Cups. Illusion, as this card is called in this deck. Libra, I feel as though, what is reality? What is truth? What is your truth, their truth, his truth, her truth, everybody's truth, and then nobody's truth, all at the same time? Truth is very relative. At the same time, it is objective, and it depends all on where you're standing. So what is the truth to you? It's valid because you're living that truth. You're standing in that truth. You're able to assert that truth and observe that truth, right? What's the truth to somebody else in the situation? You may or may not be able to recognize it because it's their perspective. Does that make sense? So there are varying ways to see this connection, either in this life and or previous lives. And there are various ways to answer that question. What is the truth? Wealthy man, whether it be in your current moment, whether it be you or someone else, I don't know. But whoever this person is, they have a certain truth to them. And they express that truth. They stand by that truth. And that might be disheartening or challenging or limiting for others around them. I'm getting the sense that there are certain parameters, expectations, like I said before, limitations that are present because someone else, someone in this situation, could be you, puts forth their truth as the most important. Their narrative, their standpoint, their argument, their money, their earning of money, their potential to create money, or their possession of money. Because again, we're talking about the wealthy man, right? So this person's dollars mean more than your dollars. Which, let's say for an example, if the wealthy man is a millionaire and you've never seen $1 million in your bank account in your life, depending on what we're talking about, this person is more important than you. Does that make sense? So we could put that back up here with the adjudication up here. Maybe you're in court with someone who has a lot of money and they can buy the best defense or the best prosecuting lawyers that their money can buy. You making less than 6 figures, or maybe you're making 6 figures. Up against this person, no chance. Sometimes that is what happens. And that person's vision of, quote unquote, the truth, what is fair, what is, meant to be, blah, 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 they feel good. Whoever this person is, whether it be you or someone else in this life or another, they are confident as all hell that where they stand, there is no illusion, there is no confusion. I, of course, am going to win the day. I, of course, have the power. All the chips are are stacked in my favor, and yeah, suck it all. Very uncompromising, this wealthy man. Shark. Very shark energy. Very much like predatorial, right? Take control, take power, possibly utilizing your wealth along the way to secure that power, to influence power, right? So the Seven of Water, I feel, Libra, is like you looking at all the options and feeling that none of them are real, or none of them are viable, none of them can really help you, or seeing options but not knowing which one to choose, which one is best. Whichever way you could view that. Because what do we see? We see these camels, and then what do we see in the background there? These mirages, these possible oases, or a possible oasis back there. Maybe a place to lay down, maybe a place to maybe grab a drink of water, right? Or whatever. But it's so hazy, it's so fuzzy, it's so far off. There's a feeling of being lost, right? So I feel some of you, maybe this wealthy man is your partner in some sense, right? Business partner, love relationship partner, could be a partner in terms of your family. Maybe they've always been a supporter of you and they've always been in your corner, or you've always, in some of your cases, you feel like if this is like a father figure or like an older sibling or something like that, you're living in their shadow. You can't get away. Thank you. Some of you feel this is inescapable, this person, this soul connection with this person. And any option that I or any other person in your life, and that was very interesting that I said I. Maybe some of you really came here looking for like serious advice, and I'm just like, I'll try, but it feels like wherever you're looking for options to get away from this person, to get out of their shadow, to live outside of their truth. Again, what they project as the truth is for them the only truth, and that they don't. What I said in the beginning, where truth is relative and it's based on which position you're standing in, and to a degree that equals objective truth, that all truths, all subjective truths are whatever. I'm not going to get into it. My complex, convoluted way of explaining how I interpret truth, especially in a tarot reading, they're like, bullshit. No, the only truth is what I present. Very controlling and domineering, this person, okay? Now, wanting to get away from this person, get out of their shadow, be free of whatever debt you owe them or they owe you, or get away from whatever binds you to them, wanting to be done with that. The Fool. Start over. Start anew. Leap of faith is something that we often say with the Fool, but then I chuckled because one of the things, another phrase came to mind was jump ship, abandon ship. Maybe, I think I said that sort of kinda in your mid-September reading a couple of days ago, where maybe this analogy only is here because of what I just said about jump ship. Someone might be sinking, a very wealthy person might be sinking, and they're going to take you with them. Something like that. I didn't say that in that reading, but like that's the visual I'm getting. Is like, if this person's going to suffer, if they're going to lose their livelihood, or they're going to lose something, they're going to take you down with them. And again, this is your soul connection. Right? One of them at least. Not all, but one of them. And you don't want to be a part of that story. Who would? Like, who volunteers? The ship's going down. I need people to be my fall guy, or I need people to suffer along with me. Most people don't volunteer for that. Unless it's like romantic and we're watching a freaking movie or something like that. Whatever. But there's a disconnect that you desire. Or a reset on your own path. Because what do we see? We see this baby here. Oh, by the way, no. In this deck, only in this deck, you can see the visual symbols of all the fixed signs. That's not an innate meaning, or at least a traditional meaning, or association, I should say, with the Fool card. But we see Taurus down in the bottom left. The tiger would be representing Leo, and then I would assume the vulture. No, I guess the crocodile or the alligator would be Scorpio, and then the vulture would be Aquarius. But whatever. There are semblances of the fixed signs here, so maybe some of you are dealing with one of the fixed signs. Again, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, or Aquarius. You don't have to be. But the baby is alone. Even though there's these other creatures here, right? The baby is by itself, right? So some of you don't want to be involved with this person. Clean slate. Let me out of the contract. Let me, maybe not even if the ship is going down. Maybe like jump ship is in like turn your back on. Turn your back on what he or she might say is a good thing. And I mentioned the word inheritance. So some of you might be like, if you walk, like it might be that walk away now and you'll never see another dime in your life. And some of you are like, cool, I don't care. I don't need it. I don't, someone here wants so badly to be free of this energy. And on its face, wealthy man, I don't know about you, and I'm not a Libra, so maybe that's why I'm in this place being able to say this. A wealthy man, bring it on. But if you live that way, or someone lords that over you, the money, the inheritance, the luxury, or the presents, the gifts that you have been conditioned to think are coming, but they're not coming, or when they come, it's not exactly a gift, it's actually a slap in the face, or whatever the hell I was saying in the beginning. There's something here where finally, I got to something. This is conditional, I should say. This person, this soul connection is based on conditions. Okay, there we go. Conditions, conditioning, and conditional. Those are, some of you are like, that's the same word. They have different implied meanings. So conditions, you're conditioned. There are conditions to be with this person, be in their life, be a part of their circle, be a part of their wealth. You have to live up to certain expectations. There are conditions with it. There are things that you must do in order to secure your place here. Conditioning. Some of you have been normalized into that. That's normal. That's transactional ways of expressing love and affection towards your friends, your family, your whoever, your marriage partner. That's normal. No, it's not. Right? What did I say? Condition, conditioning, and conditional. And it's conditional, meaning it can change. They've kind of already told you that when they say, jump through these hoops, and you're like, I don't want to. And they're like, all right, well, then you're canceled. Get out of here. And they reject you. They threaten to reject you. That's conditional. So perform and live the way that I tell you to, and you can have access to this. Conditional. Right? Fool's not down with that. The energy of the Fool is not down with that. And you don't want to be down with that, Libra. But it's easier said than done. Totally easier said than done. So the final card, because we've been here for a long time. So don't think I'm gonna say with one of my family members who was a Libra used to always say, don't say I never gave you nothing. Don't say I never gave you nothing with this hour-and-a-half reading, Libra. But the final card that comes out for you in this reading today is the Magus, or Magus, or however you say it. But the Magician, basically, in other decks. So again, this is a secondary major for Gemini and Virgo. Again, you don't have to be dealing with any sign I mentioned other than your own. Take everything I said with a grain of salt and apply it and bend it and reinterpret as you need. This is self-starter. And also look how this guy is dressed, like a businessman. Very similar to our 19th century or our 19th century wealthy man, right? Wow, very similar. Maybe this is this, if this was you, if you're still in this vibe, this could be you separated by a few centuries. This could be the same person, visually speaking, separated by a mere lifetime or a spiritual lifetime, let's say. You know what I mean? Anyway, if it's not the same person, because that doesn't even hit for more than one or two people, I don't think. The Magician, or again, the Magus, or however you say it, is somebody who is seeking to be a self-creator, or to manifest what they desire, to manifest what they believe of themselves, what they believe they are due, what they believe is most aligned with them. Now, based off of what I said with the previous two cards, it would seem that you want to create a new beginning for yourself. And the thing about the Magician is they realize they have the tools. The Fool steps forward and doesn't know that they have the tools, doesn't even care that they're, because often in the tarot you'll see the Fool depicted as somebody carrying like a knapsack and just like jumping off of a ledge, no care in the world, you know, just like no type of plan, no type of strategy at hand, just goes for it, right? The Magician is the next step of that, right? So you go from the 0 card, the Fool, to the 1. So not starting with a plan, but then eventually formulating a plan, or at least, again, utilizing the resources that you have at your disposal for your own good, to create what you want to create, to become a successful manifester, right? So I sense, Libra, that one of your soul connections in some form or fashion has been conditional, and conditioning for you, or whatever. You've been told you must be a certain way, and you must, fit the bill in this type of way, and if you don't, you will be prevented from, or rejected in some type of way. You're not going to have access. You're not going to have this person, possibly. Maybe it's a full package deal. Not only will you not have access to my money and all of that, you're not going to have access to me. And that's a crap way to interact with another person. I don't care what your relationship is. Parent to child, brother to sister, lover to lover, whatever. That's not cool. Again, it's conditional, right? Conditional ways of showing love and affection. Or conditional ways of cementing a soul relationship that you have with a person. And, you guys have, someone here has a real big wounding, perhaps, surrounding wealth and or just aspects of money or physical material resources, right? And I did mention earlier that some of you, I think it was in this pile, where some of you have worked really hard and you have your own life. And maybe your soul contract is fulfilled with this person, or your soul connection is fulfilled with this person. If that's how you grew up, but now 20, 30 years on, you sustain yourself. You don't have your family to financially support you like they used to, like they said they would, or like they said they could, but then whatever, you guys had a fallout. This could be the story of your success. You didn't feel you had a way out. You didn't know which way to go, right? But you took that leap of faith anyway. And you went out into the world brand new, fresh as a newborn baby, no type of, safety net in place. And you worked your way up to become a self-made man or woman. To be able to support yourself, to make yourself, got to the point where you could manifest exactly what you wanted. So for some of you, you've actually successfully completed, or at least come to a realization point in a particular soul connection with someone who is embodied by or represented here today as the wealthy man. Again, also, I didn't say it in the beginning, but I'll say it now as we wrap up. Wealth is relative, much like truth is relative, much like everything in life is relative. So what is wealthy to you or me might not be jack shit to somebody else. Or vice versa. You know what I mean? So take everything I said here today with a grain of salt, Libra. That is your reading for your birthday period. An hour, in like almost 45 minutes? Jeez. If you like this reading, Libra, please leave a comment down below or hit the like button for me. That would be super, super duper. Amazing. That would be very cool. You can also share the video and, of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed, my friends. I'll be back in about a week or two, and I'm going to do the October readings and then the mid-Octobers all throughout your birthday season, so you have those two to look forward to. And again, October the 10th, I think I said it was, 7 p.m. here on the channel. I will be live for you guys for your birthday season to answer any of your tarot questions, okay? If you did want to order a personal with me during your birthday season or any time in the future, all the information is down below in the description box, okay? Libra, I thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Take care.